Have you ever looked up at the night sky and wondered, why does the universe work so perfectly? Here's a secret. What you see isn't as perfect as you think. The truth is, the universe is full of chaos, and yet somehow everything falls into place. But why? Stick around because what we're about to uncover might change the way you see everything. When you think of the universe, you probably imagine galaxies swirling beautifully, stars twinkling in harmony, and planets orbiting with precision. But what if I told you that beneath all that, there's an unimaginable amount of randomness, destruction, and chance? Despite all that, it seems like the universe is fine-tuned just right for life and everything else. How is that possible? Why does the universe feel perfect? Let's start with the big question. Why does everything work? Why do planets stay in orbit? Why does light travel exactly the way it does? Why can we exist at all? To understand how perfect the universe really is, we first need to ask, why hasn't everything fallen apart? It's not just about looking at the stars and thinking, wow, that's beautiful. The real challenge is understanding how it all holds together. If gravity was just a little weaker, planets wouldn't form. If atoms didn't stick together the way they do, nothing would exist. No stars, no galaxies, no life. Every tiny part of the universe seems to be in exactly the right place, but why? The answer lies in something called fine-tuning. This idea suggests that the universe's fundamental constants, like the force of gravity, the speed of light, or the strength of electromagnetic forces, are set just perfectly for everything to work. If any of these constants were even slightly different, the universe would look very, very different. In fact, it might not exist at all. Let's talk about one of these constants, gravity. We all know that gravity is the force that keeps our feet on the ground and holds planets in orbit around stars. But did you know that if gravity were just a tiny bit stronger, the universe would have collapsed in on itself right after the Big Bang? That's right, no stars, no planets, nothing. Just a massive black hole. On the other hand, if gravity were just a tiny bit weaker, the universe would have expanded too quickly, and matter wouldn't have clumped together to form stars or galaxies. Again, no planets, no life. But gravity isn't the only thing that needs to be just right. Take the electromagnetic force. This is the force that holds atoms together. If it were slightly stronger, atoms would collapse in on themselves, making complex molecules, like the ones that make up your body, impossible. If it were weaker, atoms wouldn't stick together at all. Everything in the universe would just be a cloud of loose particles drifting through space. So why are these forces, along with a dozen others, so perfectly balanced? Scientists call this the Goldilocks zone. Not too strong, not too weak, but just right. And that's not just about planets being in the right spot to support life. It's about the entire universe being in this delicate balance where everything works in harmony. But why is that? Why does the universe seem to have these rules that keep everything together when chaos should be the norm? Here's the kicker: no one really knows why. It's one of the biggest mysteries in science today. Some people believe it's just luck, that we're living in one of the very few universes where everything happens to line up perfectly. Others think there's something deeper going on, maybe even something designed to be this way. One popular explanation is the multiverse theory. According to this idea, there are actually an infinite number of universes, all with different physical constants. In most of these universes, things are chaotic. Stars don't form, atoms don't bond, life is impossible. But in just a tiny fraction of them, the conditions are perfect. We happen to live in one of those lucky universes where everything works. But wait, if the multiverse theory is true, how do we prove it? The problem is, we can't. At least not yet. We're stuck here in our universe, unable to peek into the others. So is it all just a giant cosmic coincidence, or is there more to the story? Another theory is the Anthropic Principle. This idea says that the universe appears perfect simply because if it weren't, we wouldn't be here to notice it. In other words, we exist because the universe is just right for life, and if it weren't, we simply wouldn't be here asking these questions. It's like being in a house that's still standing after a storm. You don't ask why the house next door blew down because you're only focused on the fact that your house didn't. But there's also a more mind-bending possibility: simulation theory. You've probably heard of it. the idea that we might be living in a highly advanced simulation, kind of like a video game. What if the reason the universe seems so perfect is because it was designed that way? What if some higher intelligence, or even future humans, created this universe with all the right rules in place? Think about it. When we create virtual worlds, we set the rules, the physics, and how everything works. What if someone did that for us? While these theories are fascinating, they also leave us with more questions than answers. Are we just lucky? Is there a grand design? Or is the universe trying to tell us something? Now, let's get to the part where things get even weirder. Did you know that the universe might not always stay so perfectly balanced? Scientists believe that over billions of years, the universe is actually slowly falling apart. Dark energy is pushing galaxies farther and farther apart, and in the distant future, it could cause the universe to stretch out so much that stars will burn out, and everything will drift into cold, dark emptiness. This is called the heat death of the universe, the point where all energy is used up, and nothing more can happen. So if the universe seems perfect now, it might not always be. We're living in a brief moment of cosmic harmony, but it's only temporary. Does that make our existence even more special? Or does it just mean we're a small blip in the grand, indifferent timeline of the universe? The universe is full of mysteries, and the idea that everything is perfectly fine-tuned for life is one of the biggest ones out there. From gravity to the speed of light, to the very atoms that make up your body, everything seems to be in just the right place. But whether it's luck, design, or something we can't even comprehend yet, one thing is clear: we're part of a universe that's more extraordinary and complex than we can imagine. So the next time you look up at the stars, remember, what you're seeing isn't just beautiful, it's a cosmic puzzle, and we're only just starting to figure out the pieces. If this blew your mind, don't miss our next video. Hit subscribe to keep exploring the universe with us.